Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is an answering questions episode, and so let's get right to it, shall we? But even though we got one question. Brendan from Morris, New York. Uh, what do you think about the new Daspletosaurus specimen lifting a ceratopsian with its mouth? Yes, I hope you have a nice Halloween. I appreciate that. I might not go in costume, but I mean, if I was going to go in costume, I would probably be either Darth Vader or otherwise maybe a Tyrannosaurus Rex or otherwise maybe just a regular paleontologist at some point. But I mean, I don't have that kind of money to actually get a costume right now. But yeah, I've actually seen this photo of a Daspletosaurus specimen actually having a type of ceratopsian in its mouth, and it's kind of actually lifting it with off the ground. And what do I think about that is that I think it does look pretty cool, but even though the public would actually think it's really cool to think like that Tyrannosaur is actually very strong and could actually lift something like that. But even though I would actually say if it was a juvenile specimen, I would actually say okay, that could actually make sense. But if it was an adult, then I would actually say it would never happen because Daspletosaurus is a bit smaller than Tyrannosaurus Rex. Does it have the strength of Tyrannosaurus Rex? Probably not. But in terms of like its overall strength, I think Daspletosaurus is a very robust type of dinosaur. It actually does have a very robust type of look. You know, it has a big skull. Actually, has the bones necessary to actually show that it does have a very powerful musculature in its body. But I would actually say that if it actually did that in real life, I would actually say it probably actually lifted like some pieces of the carcass off, out of it, just ripped off like a limb or otherwise maybe the tail, and maybe it could have ripped off the head to actually get to the body parts, you know, because there is evidence to suggest that maybe Tyrannosaurus Rex did rip off the head of the Triceratops to actually get to the juicy neck muscles that are actually right there. Where if it tried to actually get to the neck muscles with the skull attached, then it would actually be very hard for a Tyrannosaurus Rex to actually get to those neck muscles, because it would actually take quite a tremendous effort to actually try to get there, to sneak its snout right in there. But overall, I think it actually is a pretty cool display. I think at some point, I think there's some scientists that are actually going to say like maybe that it probably could not have happened if this was a juvenile ceratopsian, which I think it probably is by the skull shape, by the how the skull has actually looked. I would actually say that yeah, it is a juvenile specimen of a ceratopsian. But if this was actually an adult, then I would actually go like, wait a minute, that would have never happened. But I mean, I would actually say that it does look pretty cool. I think the public will actually think it's pretty cool. I think a lot of people would actually think like this is a pretty cool looking display. I think they'll actually say that dinosaur does have a lot of strength of carrying that body around. And I think a lot of the public's imagination about that, it would actually say like this Tyrannosaur is actually very strong, and would actually have been able to lift something that big in its mouth. But even though the problem is with physics in terms of that, is that the weight of the body of that carcass would actually be pulling the Tyrannosaur towards the ground. So I would actually say that maybe it would have actually leaned back a little bit, probably actually try to use its tail to actually try to counterbalance a little bit more. But I think it would have needed actual help to actually carry something that huge. But I mean, let's just see what the experts say about the Daspletosaurus' overall strength could have been. But that's just a way, in my opinion. But I do think Daspletosaurus is a very robust type of dinosaur in terms of its size. But it actually does show that it does have very robust robust built, but even though not as robust as Tyrannosaurus Rex. And I think that it could actually happen, but we'll see if it is a juvenile. But I think it is. juvenile specimen of a ceratopsian in the jaws of that Daspletosaurus. Alright, that's it for now. Now, next week will actually be a special episode. So if you got a dinosaur or any other prehistoric animal you want me to talk about, mainly vertebrates, you can actually email me the animals that you want me to, the prehistoric animals you want me to talk about, by emailing me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or let's go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. You can actually post them on the wall or even in the comment section on any Facebook post. Remember, but just remember, only vertebrates I talk about. I like to do vertebrate paleontology, and you can still send me questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or always go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you guys should post your questions in the comments section or even on the wall on the Facebook Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris page. Like the page, you can actually post your questions on there, and remember, keep your questions short and to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRILL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. Those are the best motivation you can have for a good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you guys next week.